All right, to those of you watching on YouTube, obviously this is a recording. This was my live broadcast from December 23rd, 2024, just 2 days before Christmas. Glad you're listening. Penwig, welcome. Glad you're here. Operes, glad you're here. Welcome. Really happy that you two are the first in the room. Hope you'll hold on just a second while a few more people show up, like Michael Morris. How you doing, sir? Glad to see you today. I'm going to go ahead and launch into this, and I'm sure we will get more people in here, which is totally cool. Hopefully, thank you for liking the live, Michael. I hope that you'll keep hitting up those likes. Hi, M. Hello, French fry basket. Hi, James Odom. Good to see you. Anywho, hi, Aubrey. My name is Josh. I was a porn addict for 24 years. I was an alcoholic for 22 years. I have been clean and sober for the last 10 and a half years, close to 11 now, actually. And I also have been relapse-free the entire time. I saw him on live earlier. He was drinking bottles of conditioner. Yep, that was me. I can't get enough hair conditioner. Anyway, like I said, I was an addict of porn 24 years. I was an addict of alcohol 22 years. I have been clean and sober now 10 and a half years. About 8 years ago, I entered this space as an author and public speaker. When the pandemic hit, I became a full-time pornography addiction coach and a full-time betrayal trauma coach. I also later became a therapeutic disclosure specialist. I am here today to answer any questions you may have about pornography addiction, addiction in general, about betrayal trauma, trauma in general, communication within a relationship, largely whatever you want to talk about today. Those of you who have been here before know how this goes. This really relies on your comments. This really relies on your feedback to be a successful live. I would also ask that you tap up some likes. Please tap up some likes. Carol, shouldn't you be on a friggin' boat? Tap up the likes, tap up the likes, tap up the likes. That gets us into the, hey, Carol, aren't you like in the Bahamas or something at this point? Please tap up the likes. Please share it if you think this is worthwhile. I would love to hear anything that you have to say. I'm in Dominican Republic. It's raining right now. Well, I'm sorry. I'm in Maine and it's about 7 freaking degrees. But I'm glad. I hope you're having a good time on your vacation. So if you have any questions, please go ahead, throw them in there. I'm going to answer the question that we get, number one, and we will get multiple times if you hang out here with me for a few minutes. And that's, how do I begin to quit? How do I begin to quit? Or actually, I'll answer that after I answer this French fry question. Can you talk about resources for partners who were betrayed? Yeah, this is plugging myself, but it also is a free resource. If you go to my YouTube page, which is youtube.com/thatcorncoach. You can also access it through my webpage at thatcorncoach.com. I actually have what was going to be the first season of a podcast up there. It never ended up running, but it's based on my book, He's a Porn Addict Now What?, that I co-wrote with LMFT Tony Overbay. And it is designed specifically for the partners of porn addicts who have just discovered or who are being betrayed by their partner, answering some basic questions. As far as other resources go, there's a lot of books out there. I know that there are different communities for people who have been betrayed. I would also say, you do have coaches like me who will talk to you about this stuff, who are trained to talk to you about this stuff. I've probably helped over 200 partners in the years that I've been being a coach. And it's basically, first we have to get you to understand it's not your fault. This has nothing to do with you. You didn't cause anything. You didn't make anything happen. Number two, we talk about the trust issues. We talk about, what will it take for you to trust your partner again, if you even can, because they've lied to you for quite a long time, and who knows what else they lied about. So understand that, and then it's a matter of what do you do about this situation. Obviously, if you've been dating for 3 weeks, it's not a big deal. If you've been married for 13 years, it's a much bigger deal. So we navigate that as well. So that's a resource for you as well. If you're interested, whether you have porn addiction or whether you're dealing with betrayal trauma, and you'd like to see me sometime, go ahead and check out my links on my front page, my bio. Up at the top, there's a link that says Calendly. That would teach you how to see me. Jack the Tripper, I had to quit drinking and certain medications to quit. I did too, Jack. I quit alcohol and I quit porn on the exact same day. I knew that there was no way for me to try to get rid of one addiction at a time. I had to get rid of the porn of 24 years. I had to get rid of the alcohol of 22 years at the same time. So I certainly understand that. Please feel free to follow me. Please feel free to share this if there's anything that you think that is especially worthwhile. Please keep clicking up the likes. Favorite corn-based food? That's a good question. I would guess, some sort of, probably nachos, because the tortilla chips are made from corn. Hey, be quiet, please. That's my little doggy back there screaming. Any tips on how not to relapse on corn anymore? Sure. The easiest and quickest one is to go be around people, Bryce. Go be around people. If you are around people, odds are you're not going to be looking. If you're around people, odds are you are not going to be touching. So that's the absolute easiest one. Get into public. Go see people. Go be around people. If you can't be around people, then what you need to do is not be able to access a device where you can watch. If you use every night before you go to bed, put your phone in the kitchen or put your phone in a cupboard. Put your laptop, out in the living room. Whatever it is you use. If you can't access porn, you can't access porn. And then finally, I would say, right now, you're not relapsing. Right now, you're not using. So why don't you go ahead and make a list of other things you can do instead of use? You know you're going to have another urge. You know you're going to have another trigger. Why don't you write 5 other things you can do aside from using porn? Go for a walk, watch a movie, call grandma, whatever it is you want to do, that's cool. It's all about you. Make that list, because in the moment when you are starting to relapse, you will be prepared at least to have some other ideas. Elias, we do not need to know about your masturbatory preferences, so you will, whoops, what did I just block? Hope I didn't block anything too major. I don't know what I don't know what word I just blocked. Hopefully it's not an important one. Oh, goody, another one. No idea what that means. Benays, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate that very much. Jack the Tripper says, it's not genetics. The jury is still out on whether addiction is genetically based. There is some suggestions that says it is. There are some others that say it's more about environment. What I believe when it comes to addiction, I think it is 1/3 genetic. I think there is predisposition. I also think that it is 1/3 about the environment you find yourself in. I also think it's 1/3 just making poor decisions. So I think there's a lot of different things that feed into it. Thank you, all of you, for liking up the live so much. What happened to Own a Pixel? I don't know what that means, so I can't answer that for you. I apologize. Oh, never mind. He read it. Yes, I did. I did see it. Thank you for inquiring. Wow, lots of new people on here today. Right on time. Thank you for following me. Thank you for following me very, very much. Appreciate it. Trying to make sure I'm not going to miss any comments. Cindy Powell, 8. Thank you for following me. Pickle says, do you support legal protections for sex workers? I think that sex workers, provided that they are paying their taxes like anybody else, and what they are doing is protected under their state or federal laws, whether they are in America or anywhere else in the world, I think they should have the same legal protections as any other workers, as long as what they're doing is legal. Now, if you think that strippers or OnlyFans models or whoever shouldn't have equal legal protection, then what I would suggest you do is go to your legislature, go to the government, and try to have them taken away. But I believe that everybody should be treated equally under the law. And until what they are doing is illegal, yes, they should be protected. DVD. DVDL 1974. Let me elaborate. You were about the 10th I've seen the past 2 weeks who is anti-corn. I don't really describe myself as anti-corn. I describe myself as pro-healthy sexuality, pro-education. I am a pornography addiction coach. I am also a betrayal trauma coach who helps partners. I really don't make my argument whether pornography is good or bad, whether it's moral or not. That doesn't help anybody who is dealing with the addiction or a partner who is dealing with the trauma of being with an addict and the betrayal of finding out that their partner is an addict. Guess there's a lot. I guess you are stuck in this algorithm, DVD. I guess you're stuck in this algorithm. Sorry. If you have any questions, throw them on in here. Ken, thank you for following me. Appreciate that very much. But you are chill. I try to be. That's one thing. When people come see me in my sessions that I really take as a great compliment is at the end when they say, you're exactly the guy who's on podcasts. You're exactly the guy who is on the lives or makes those videos. You are chill. You are blunt without being an idiot. You have the experience, so you bring a level of empathy and compassion while still not putting up with shit. And thankfully, as a coach, I can do that. I try to be a little bit different. I try to be the person who I wish I would have found 11 or 12 years ago. So thank you for the compliment, DVD. Cindy Powell says, yes, thank you. I appreciate that. Based equal treatment, King. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. That's why I also think so many females come to me for their porn addiction issues is because I am just a regular dude who's being myself. I know that it can be awkward to have a female come and talk to me about porn addiction, but those I have are among some of my favorite clients. It doesn't really matter. Whether you're a man or a woman, whether you're rich or poor, old or young, this porn addiction thing is taking over the world. And I guess there's a package being delivered, probably the right time of year. anyhow, I try to keep it the same for everybody, and I try to be the same guy I always am. And if you have any questions about pornography addiction, if you have any questions about betrayal trauma, I was a porn addict 24 years. I was an alcoholic 22 years. I've been working as a coach for 5 years. Prior to that, I did lots of speaking at colleges and other places. I wrote 4 books, did a TED Talk, so I kind of know my stuff, both from the academic and the experiential end. KC Marie or KC Mari, sir, I can't stop watching porn. What can I do to stop? Figure out why you must. Why must you stop watching? Why must you stop watching pornography? That's what you have to figure out, is your motivation to stop. And whatever you've been trying to use as your motivation isn't working. So I would think about why must you stop? Why must you stop? What's going to happen if you don't stop? Are you worried about losing your partner? Are you worried about never being able to get a partner? Are you worried about your mental or physical health? Are you worried about, being caught somewhere like school or work? Whatever your reason for quitting is your reason, but you have to figure that out first. And it's not a matter of, well, it would be a good idea if I quit, like it would be a good idea if I lose 5 pounds. Quitting and recovering from pornography is more like changing your diet and changing your exercise patterns for life. Recovery is not just about quitting a behavior. Recovery is about completely changing your mindset. Recovery is about learning why you became an addict in the first place. Amy, thank you very much for following me. I appreciate that. And I'm going to answer everybody, just falling behind a little. Please be patient. Do you have any experience with the apps Quiztodio and Canopy? I don't. When I was personally quitting, there were no apps, so I didn't use anything like that. I have a couple clients who have used different apps. I have heard Canopy is a decent one. I've heard Covenant Eyes is a decent one, although I believe that has a bit of a religious edge to it. And I have a client who says he's been using an app called Opal. So hopefully one of those might work for you, but I personally don't have experience with it. Delhi, thank you for following me. Is that the Jamaican flag? Mr. Smoothie Buns, glad you're here. Here's a very well-educated person, and he's helped with my betrayal trauma. Thank you, Harles. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's appreciated. Dreaming Beauty, I just found it on his phone after dating for just about 2 years. Oh my God, Dreaming Beauty, that sucks. That sucks. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to handle it? Caitlin says you should do a podcast. This is probably as close as I'm ever going to get to doing anything regular that I host. Maybe in the future, but ultimately, it's easier for me to go to different podcasts and be a guest because I can share the same information with a different audience every time. If you do a podcast, if you host a podcast, you've got to build an audience. I would rather keep finding new people to talk to. But thank you for mentioning that, Caitlin. I appreciate it. And, again, you can go to my TikTok page, my YouTube page, youtube.com/the @thatcorncoach. And you'll see a bunch of podcasts I've been on. You'll also see a bunch of these lives. Please keep tapping up the likes. Please keep tapping up the likes. I appreciate that very much. Please share if you like what I'm saying. More likes means more potential impressions in the FYP page, more potential impressions on the suggested live page. And if you're watching on the For You page, please click through and watch here. That always helps the algorithm. You never know who needs this information. I meet about 80% of my clients through TikTok. So even if you don't need this, your Tap, liking this up, your share may be the thing that gets this in someone's hands. Do you know the TikToker Uvolve? I do not. I actually probably use TikTok for pleasure 10 to 20 minutes a week. It's really a business tool for me. Anything funny I'm supposed to see, my wife sends me a link. Big Ben 1, my wife cheated on me with my adopted brother. I need help badly. Geez, I am sorry, man. I am sorry that happened. I guess what you have to do is figure out what you want the relationship to be moving forward. Did she cheat on you once or many times? Is she looking to have a relationship with him? Are you looking to have a continuing relationship with him? I think you have to decide first what you want moving forward, and then go ahead and make that happen. I don't know if I should stay. Well, again, do you know how often do you, in finding the pornography, is this just a one-time thing? Did you have an agreement to not look at pornography? Did you find a lot on his phone or a random picture? You know, there are a lot of nuances to this that you need to find. Hey, Caden Corley, is once a week bad? I can tell you that it certainly isn't healthy. There is nothing healthy about looking at porn. There is nothing healthy about masturbation. However, I don't have any clients, nor have I ever had a client in the 5 or 6 years I've been doing this who only uses once a week and is an addict. Take that for what you will. Caitlin, I've discovered through hard conversations he gets manic and blacks out. I have bipolar disorder that ran heavy to the manic, and I can certainly understand that to a degree. I wouldn't describe mine, if I'm not properly medicated, I would describe my mania as watching myself from the outside. It's not that I black out. It's that I become almost a character in a simulation, and I'm just watching myself make bad decisions. So I certainly understand what he's talking about, and that sucks. Hopefully I hope that you're getting him medication or talking to somebody who has some expertise with mania. Bro, the soft corn is the worst. It's like you can't escape it. Well, I'm sure you can find some other kind. Alex says, 1 week clean. Let's go. No urges. Very, very good for you, Alex. Very good. 1 week is a big milestone because it shows you that you can beat any day of the week. You can defeat any day of the week. Just because it's Monday, you're back to work, you're back to school, doesn't mean you need to use. Just because it's Saturday, plenty of time to do things, doesn't mean you have to use. Friday, it's been a long week, you don't have to use. You got through every day. So that's awesome, Alex. Good for you. Destructive says instant gratification. That's pretty much what it is. And it's not instant gratification necessarily. It's instant coping if you're an addict. It's instant problem management. You know, most people who are addicts aren't really looking to be gratified sexually. I mean, yeah, orgasms feel good. They probably always will. But when an addict is using pornography, it's more to get that combination of brain chemicals stirring up there to attack, or not attack, but, more or less massage your pleasure centers and make you feel better about this. Powder Gen X, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. Michael Morris, I use Ever Accountable app. Is that something that you find works for you, Michael? Always like to hear more. Kroger Sushi. I wonder if that's as good as the sushi at my grocery store. Thank you for all of the likes. Caitlin, we are currently using both apps, one for accountability and one for blocking in real time. All right, well, denying him is good, but you're not actually fixing anything, simply denying him. You've probably heard this before. in here, but this is a lot like somebody who goes on a diet for 30 days. Somebody stops eating dessert. Somebody stops eating candy for 30 days. Let's say they're a morbidly obese person. They can lose 25 pounds in that month, but it doesn't mean at the end of it, they don't still love candy. They don't still love desserts. They use they use food in a different way than most healthy people. Why did they get that way? That's the question. So blocking apps are great. They will keep the stuff away from you unless you can work your way around them, or you go to 7-Eleven and buy a magazine. But ultimately, to recover why you ended up this way is the most important piece of it. So I hope you understand that. I don't want to lose you. Dreaming Beauty. Yes, we had an agreement to not watch, and he had told me it was cheating. Jesus. There's some gaslighting for you. But then he watched it, the whole relationship behind my back. Geez, you don't deserve that. I am sorry. I am so sorry. He said it was once a week, but it could have been more. Of course he said it's once a week. He's minimizing, and that's horse shit. You think he's like, oh, it's Wednesday at 4, I'm going to use my porn. Now, who knows if he's an addict or not? That's not really the issue at the moment. The issue at the moment, Dreaming Beauty, is that he lied to you. Is that he cheated because you had an agreement. He cheated on the agreement. Cheating is not just having physical sex with somebody else. There are all kinds of levels of cheating, all types of cheating. The question is for you, Dreaming Beauty, what now? What now? Hey, Heather, thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Anybody else who wants to give me gifts? It is the holiday time of the season, or time of the year. It's the holiday season, I guess you would say. Anyway, have you confronted him, about it being an issue, or have you confronted him about how he's going to move forward? Have you confronted him about why he needs to watch it? Does he seem to care about your feelings? These are all very important questions, Caitlin, while you figure out what you're going to do next. Josh, hey, good name. Multiple times a day. Multiple times a day. I assume you mean watching and or self-pleasuring. Not healthy. Not healthy. Probably addicted. There aren't many things you do multiple times a day, eat, go to the bathroom, stuff that are bodily functions. Your brain has fooled your brain, and your brain has fooled your body into thinking that using pornography to get that chemical release is just another normal body function now. That's what's going on there. Making sure I don't miss any comments. I will, always catch up with them. I just don't want to shortchange anybody's answers. Tickle Bears, thank you for following me. Appreciate that. Caitlin Nicole, I get what you're saying, and we are working trying to get him to see why. Well, are either of you trained at this, or are you seeing anybody? You probably are going to need to talk to an expert in this area to really get deep into it. If I can help anyway, let me know. You know that my booking information is on my front page in the bio where it says, where the links are. Click on the Calendly link if any of you want any more information. Thoughts on Travis Hunter girlfriend? I have no idea who Travis Hunter is, so I can't really say much about his girlfriend. I appreciate you, says Heather. Thank you, Heather. That's nice to hear this time of year. It's nice to hear any time of year, frankly, working for the collective on this topic. Well, you know what I kind of feel, Heather, and this will be a little bit, personal, is that I hurt so many people with my porn addiction the 24 years I had it. I hurt so many people with my alcohol addiction the 22 years I have it. Right now, I'm just on a mission to try to educate, to try to help, to try to give back. and what my hope is. I don't know what the afterlife is. I don't know if there is an afterlife, but I hope that if there is, even if it's only 5 seconds long, I hope that I see like a scoreboard, and it says how many people I hurt and how many people I helped. And if the score of the people I helped is higher, then it wasn't all a mistake that I was here. Mark, what's up, man? How are you? Oh, having a Christmas Eve live. Have a bunch of sessions today, but then it eases up. I assume it will in the next week. Want to let everybody know I am actually going to have sessions both tomorrow on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. I'll be taking a few hours to be with family. But if you are struggling on the holidays, you can book with me. If you're alone and you just need somebody to talk to, you can book with me. I'll be here for you on this holiday. I'll try to do some lives on this holiday. Heather, thank you so much for the heart puffs. Thank you so much for the heart puffs. And thank you for the snowflakes. Those are cool looking. I've never got one of those. Thank you. Appreciate it. He has been very remorseful and apologetic and keeps saying he never wants to watch it again. I just can't. Cool dolphins. This is like the day of gifts I've never seen before. 7 of those. Excellent. Thank you, Heather. Every penny I get in this actually does matter because I don't make a ton of money doing this stuff. And, of course, the famous corn. I just can't trust him now. You're right, Dreaming Beauty. You can't. For him to say he uses it once a week, for him to say he's remorseful and apologetic, he never wants to watch it again. I'm going to be honest, and I say this as someone who was an addict. I don't really believe him unless there's action behind it, which is more than just throwing a blocker on the phone. Unless there's work to figuring out why he became this way, unless there's work to stopping this, unless there's some changes in how you communicate as a couple, you're on shaky ground. You're on shaky ground. Of course there is. This is your purpose. The world needs you. It's funny you say that, Heather, because I look at my life. Like I was a newspaper and magazine journalist for years. What does that have to do with what I do now? I learned how to ask people very personal questions in very personal situations, in difficult situations, without flinching. I can hear anything because I've interviewed murderers. I've interviewed celebrities. I've interviewed politicians. Hey, Joseph, thank you for the ice cream. Glad to see you're here. Thank you very much. Dreaming Beauty says it's sad around the holidays. It certainly is. It certainly is. My wife, 3 years ago, her mom died on December 1st. Her dad died on December 18th. I think that's what it was. So 18 days between deaths from totally different ailments for my wife's parents. So she feels it real bad around the holidays, and we certainly in this house feel the energy. It can be very sad this time of year. It can be very sad for a lot of different reasons. And, of course, finding out that the person who is supposed to love you the most, the person who's supposed to be your partner the rest of your life, has been lying to you and betraying you. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Again, Heather, thank you for all those wonderful gifts. Thank you for all those wonderful gifts. Thank you for all the likes, Joseph. Again, thank you for the ice cream cone. Heather says, no, really, you were meant. God works that way. Bless you. Gotta go. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate you stopping by. It was wonderful to have you here. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. Hope to see you again in here. I hope that you and your family are healthy and happy this year. My dog's being loud. Oh, Christ. What time is it? Okay, I have about 20 more minutes that I can go, and then I'm probably going to be done here for the day. Is there really some guys who don't watch it? Yeah, hi, my name is Josh. Yes, excuse me. Yes, sorry, I think I'm getting a cold. Perfect time of year. So, statistically, those of you who have been here before know I'm a math guy, know I'm a science guy. Statistically, the most recent numbers that we have regarding pornography. Now, this is not addiction, this is just viewing pornography. In America, 90.5% of the men who have access to the internet view pornography at least once a month. So that's 9 out of 10 men with access to the internet view pornography at least once a month. Among women, it is 60.2% of those who use the internet view at least once a month. And again, that doesn't mean they're addicts. That just means they engage. So 3 out of 5 women, 9 out of 10 men engage. Now, here's the thing, though. Who cares if, your future husband is viewing right now once a month? If you get together and you say no pornography in this relationship, your partner should be able to say, whoa, no, I want this stuff, I need this stuff. Or they should be able to say, nope, I don't need it, and stick to it. And for those of you ladies who are here who want to make sure if you're dating a guy, you know if he's using or not, there is a simple little trick. If you are on one of your first dates with a guy and you wonder if he's using pornography, and if you ask him, hey, do you use porn? You know he's going to say no. That's like on a job interview. What's your biggest fault? I'm too much of a perfectionist. I work too hard. We know it's a bullshit answer. So, hey, be quiet. We know it's a bullshit answer. So what you have to do is lean into him and say, what kind of pornography do you like? As if you're interested in it. It may be trapping them, but it's also a way to get the truth. Gonna let my doggies out. I'll be back in about 10 seconds. Talk amongst yourself. Okay, let's go out. It is so cold here today. I do not know how my dogs keep going out. So there's your answer, Dreaming Beauty. There are men who don't watch, and if you don't want your partner to watch, they should care about you enough that they won't. Addict or not. If they're not an addict, it'll be easier to quit. If they're an addict, it'll be more work to quit. But because you're their life partner, because you're supposed to, care for that person more than anybody else, you'd think they'd go that extra mile. Man, I can just feel my head starting to fill up with junk. Merry Christmas to me. Okay, not going to sneeze again. I haven't watched any for 2 months, but the thought of watching it is always in the back of my head. Well, what are you doing to fix what's inside your head? What are you doing to fix the urges? What are you doing to fix the triggers? Are you just fasting? Just not watching is not going to be enough. You have to figure out, why is it that so many other people can watch porn, take it or leave it? What happened to you that made you an addict? Obviously, something's different about your struggle with pornography. What is it? That's what you have to figure out. Why did you become an addict? Why do you need this stuff in a way other people don't? I don't have pornography in the back of my head anymore. Because the back of your head, that's actually where the addiction lives. Your urges are up front, your addiction's back here. I won't get into all the brain parts. But you probably you have the urges tamed, but you don't have the addiction tamed. Wrong person, that's okay. It's my favorite straight bear. I think think that's a gay porn reference. So thank you. Appreciate that. Mikos, thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate that very much. Spencer calls me Heisenberg. Haven't you done that like 3 days in a row? Vivid Vendetta. Hey, please check your email when you get 5 minutes free. Absolutely. That will probably be in about an hour and a half or so. My dogs are just barking. Brian Kelly, I don't think about it all day anymore, and it don't get urges often anymore. That's fantastic. That's wonderful. And keep in mind, it is normal to have sexual urges. That is just about being human. If you're a heterosexual, you have urges towards the opposite sex. If you're a homosexual, the same sex. If you're one of the other denominations of sexuality, I guess you'd call it, you're into whatever you're into. That's supposed to happen. The recovery process from pornography is not designed to make you asexual. Being horny, essentially, is a completely normal thing. Having a libido is a completely normal thing. We're not trying to extinguish your sexuality. We're trying to extinguish a disorder, a disease that many people confuse as something that's an issue with your sexual organs or with your perverted mind. That's not what it is. It's an illness. It's a disease. It's basically the same thing as gambling addiction, video game addiction, food addiction. Obviously, they all have different side effects, but the same chemistry is happening in your head. Spencer, first time you acknowledged me. Yeah, I know. I was just giving it a few days. You got to earn it, Spencer. Dreaming Beauties. He says he wants to go to therapy, but he hasn't yet. I may have to leave and hope to find better. Why don't the two of you schedule something with me? Why don't the two of you schedule something with me? It's going to cost you probably about a third of what a therapist will cost. And I can see you guys I could technically see you guys tonight probably, depending on what my schedule is. I could certainly see you tomorrow or any other time this week. You'll be sitting at your house. You can even do it with him if you want, or he could do it alone. It's a much more comfortable entry into the world of recovery, having a session with me for a lot of people. Watching your content made me see the wider picture and I stopped letting it control me. Well, I appreciate that testimonial, Brian. I'm glad I was able to be here to help you. I'm glad that you took some of the words that I said and used them as motivation to change your life for the better. So absolutely, I encourage you to keep going. I appreciate the kind words. You are the warrior here. I just said the right thing, thankfully. All righty. Dreaming Beauty says, you're awesome. See, you are a smart lady. You're clearly a smart lady, if you know I'm awesome. Been a little while since I've introduced myself. I know most of you have heard this before, but everybody hears it for a first time. Ever hear of Findom? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the only type of sex worker I really, really dislike, is one who feeds on Findom. I have a real moral, ethical problem with that, and I don't mind stepping up and saying it. Anyway, my name is Josh. I was a porn addict for 24 years. I was an alcoholic for 22 years. I quit my addictions on March 20th, 2014, so a little more than 10 and a half years ago. I have been relapse-free, clean and sober that entire time. I entered this space about 8 years ago. My plan was to be an author. I wrote 4 books. My plan was to be a public speaker. I spoke at colleges. I've been on over 500 podcasts. I have, done a TED Talk. During the pandemic, when I had to switch gears, I became a coach. I am now, for the last 5 years, a full-time pornography addiction coach, betrayal trauma coach, and a therapeutic disclosure specialist. If you have any questions, please throw them here into the comments. I am here to answer any questions you may have, whether you are the addict or whether you're the partner, or you want to work together. Maine asks, how do we book? Great question. You can go to the front page of my profile here. I think you get there by clicking my name. And if you look up top in the bio, there's a links section. Click on that. One of the links says Calendly, and click on that, and that will tell you everything about how to book a session with me. Hope to see you, Maine. So yeah, front page of the profile, click on the links, or go to my website, thatcorncoach.com, and you can book through that site as too. What was your favorite kind? Doesn't really matter when you're an addict. It's all kind of the same when you're an addict, and we don't glorify the stuff here. I don't want to say something that's going to trigger someone who is here to try to get help. So we don't really talk about that here. Brian Kelly, it's a bit strange, but anytime I felt an urge, I had to smoke because going outside stopped the urge. Good. However, do not feed one addiction into the other. So be careful there, because you do get a bit of a charge of dopamine, and the chemicals in the cigarettes will also do some of the things that the pleasure centers do when you smoke. Smoking is actually a stimulant, not a depressant. So don't lean on one addiction with another. But I'm glad that you found a way to cope. I'm really glad that you found a way to cope. Will says, appreciate what you're doing, G. Well, word to your mother. I appreciate you, homie. I am sorry if I don't do these for a few days because I'm sick. At least you guys all got to be here on the day that I got sick. I've got about another 15 minutes here. Please keep tapping up the likes. Please keep tapping up the likes. Tap, tap, tappity, tap, tap, tap. Want to remind you what I said earlier. If you are looking for a session, if you worry about your depression on the holidays, if you're going to be alone, if you just want to hang out with somebody for an hour, I am having sessions both on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. I'm blocking out a little bit of time to be with family, but I will be here if anybody needs it. Austin McKee at .am. How do you quit and not relapse? Well, that's basically what my entire career is based on. If I could boil it down to one sentence, I wouldn't be here. I'd be selling it to people for $10,000. How do you quit? You figure out why you must quit, and then you develop the tools, or you acquire the tools to quit. And at the same time, that takes care of the physical side of the addiction, the brain health on a neurotransmitter level. But on the mental health level, you pretty much have to talk to somebody who can help figure out why you became an addict. If you're not going to relapse, you need to figure out why you keep relapsing. You need to figure out why you've been using all these years. You need to figure out, why do you not have the proper skills to deal with your problems? Why don't you have the proper coping skills to deal with anxiety, to deal with stress, to deal with anger? Hi, I live in Texas. Can you coach me on how VPNs work so I can watch more corn? No, I cannot. Thank you for asking. Optical Popsicle followed the live creator. Thank you, Optical Popsicle. That's a cool name. Probably going to be my favorite one I see today. Lexi J says, who do I talk to if I'm 17 and don't know how to tell somebody? Well, unfortunately, because you're 17, Lexi, most people will not see you solo. which is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. But because you're still technically a child, most people won't see you without your parents' permission. Most people won't see you without your parents' consent, just as a cover your ass kind of thing. I hope you turn 18 soon. The day you turn 18, book with me. Hell, I'll even give you half price. Just the day you turn 18, book with me. But you can talk to a doctor. Maybe you can, ask to see a therapist who won't speak to your parents. I would suggest that you could walk into a Sex Addicts Anonymous meeting or a Sexaholics Anonymous meeting. You could watch those meetings online. You can watch videos online. YouTube's full of them, including some of my own. You could get books. You can read articles online. You can do a lot of things before you turn 18, and be more ready to get there. And I wish you the absolute best of luck. The most impressive thing about you, Lexi J, is that you're 17, you realize you have a problem, and you recognize you need to talk to somebody. So I think you have a bright future, even if you have to wait a little bit. Will says, my mindset right now on why quitting porn is because I don't want the dopamine through porn and staring at my phone. Great. Is it working? Is that mindset, is that reason working? And keep in mind that anytime you do anything with your phone, it is recorded. Don't think that just because you are on incognito, it's not all being recorded. Everything you do is being recorded. People say it keeps showing up in my feed. I don't follow anybody like that. I don't like those videos. But if you're watching them, the algorithm knows. When I finish one of these lives, I can go and I can see exactly how much time each of you spent in here. I can go and I can see how many likes each of you give me. And some of you people who are here all the time give me the least amount of likes. If you're here for an hour and a half, you can tap the screen a few times. But like I said, I can tell you exactly how long you've been on here, every comment you made, how many likes you made, if you follow me, how long you've been following me, and I can do this on, if you were in a live last week, I can go back and get that data. There is so much data that you don't recognize that's being collected about you out there. So yes, not watching through an electronic screen is a great idea because it is just tracking you. My dogs have been barking for a long time. I hope nothing's going on out there. Yeah, cats. Well, I have a lot of cats meow. I have 6 cats and I have 4 dogs. And I also foster animals as well. I just raised 6 kittens from 2 weeks to 8 weeks where they could then be adopted out. I love cats. I love dogs. I love them both. Oh, they're barking at a guy walking his dog. Okay. Relapsed twice in the last month, which is very good for me and an improvement. I'm glad to hear that. But what I want you to do, Will, is go back and look at those relapses. Why did they happen? Look at it like this. You do not just find yourself, poof, relapsing. There's your phone. It's on a porn site. There's you. Pants around your ankles. Business in your hand. It's a series of decisions that get you there. So recognize those really early decisions. Did you hear a voice in your head that morning? Why did you know that you would relapse that day? When did you know? Did something specific happen? You got bad news. It was a rough day at work or school. You had indications that you were going to relapse. You ignored them, or you fed into them, or you minimized them. This is what I call the prelapse autopsy. Once you're relapsing, we're not stopping you. But that prelapse area, where you start to roll down that hill, You need to recognize that and reverse course. Uh, Addiction is a strong word. It is. What is the biggest tell? For a lot of people, I feel it is more casual. Yeah, for most people, it's absolute arigato. For most people, it absolutely is casual. It absolutely is recreational. You're correct. Addiction is when you have a strong pull to a behavior or a substance that you know will end in negative results, negative consequences, yet you cannot stop. To me, that's the definition of addiction. And if you want to know what the tells are, those are the symptoms. If you go to the front page of my profile, up where everybody has their 3 pinned videos at the top, one of those videos is called The 11 Symptoms of Porn Addiction. If you watch that, you'll hear the symptoms, and some of those are the biggest tells. I'm dating my female calico cat. She's so adorable. Well, I hope you get her something nice for Christmas. And unlike a lot of people on here, at least you're getting some pussy. You got to give me one of those once in a while. I can't pass 3 days. You can't pass 3 days because you've decided you can't pass 3 days. If you can pass day 1 and you can pass day 2, you can pass day 3. Don't look at it as day 3. Streaks don't really matter. Look at it as your third day 1. What works on day 1? What works on day 2? Apply that to day 3. I read something that said it might be because of ADHD or boredom or late at night alone. I notice it happens. Okay. There's no reason to be bored, dude. It's a big, interesting world out there. You could go for a walk. You could read a book. You can call your mom. You can write your grandma a letter. You can write a book. You could go and watch TV shows from when you were a little kid, streaming. You could learn to play the trombone. You could, here's something for you. Everybody who says they're bored, everybody who says they have nothing else to do, the next time you're feeling an urge to use, go onto YouTube and type in how to fold an origami swan, because I bet you don't know how to do that. So go and learn to fold an origami swan. Being bored is a lame excuse, and it is an excuse. There's too much to do in this world. You want to use porn, so you tell yourself, I'm bored. I'm bored. There's nothing to do. I wish I had something to do. There's nothing to, I guess I'll use porn. People who use porn because they're bored want to use porn. They use boredom as an excuse. They use boredom as a way to remove the responsibility, to remove the shame. Most people don't just like to go to a website and type, porn.com or whatever your website is. Most people don't want to type that. They want to have I'm bored. I don't want to do this. Or social media got me excited, so I'm heading in that direction. And I was there. I had my own, excuses 11, 12 years ago. But that's what they are excuses. They're a way of removing the responsibility or removing the idea that you are choosing to use it. And these are the games we play with ourselves. This is when I say that addicts are the best gaslighters, because we learn to gaslight ourselves first and foremost. We can gaslight ourselves into using pornography, but somehow lessening the fact it's pornography by having that middleman, the boredom, the social media, the need to use at the end of the night. Late at night, okay, well, watch Fallon. Or watch something on Netflix, or have a book of Sudoku or crossword puzzles ready. Don't have your device right there. If you know what your patterns are, you know how to change your patterns. Brian Kelly says, I realized I had a problem when I would rather watch porn than have a genuine connection. That, too, is absolutely one of the huge symptoms of pornography addiction. Maybe you used to go to poker night with your buddies. Maybe you used to have girls' night out. And now instead of going to things you used to do that you enjoyed, formerly pleasurable activities, you sit at home and use because that's your free time. Random Sam, thank you for following me. Thank you for following me very much. And I appreciate you sharing this. Those are both important things for the algorithm. My thanks to you, Random Sam. Arigato, for me, addiction equals uncontrollable. Now, that's scary, not being in control. And that's the thing, I'll tell you. I was a porn addict for 24 years. I felt like it was not controllable, just like I felt like my alcohol was not controllable. And my clients who are porn addicts feel like their use is uncontrollable. So that's why it fits addiction. The other thing also is a addiction on a scientific level, Arigato. Addiction is a disease. Addiction is a brain disease. It's a disease because it changes the chemistry of your brain. Your brain starts to function toward needing the chemicals that the pornography produces, that the self-pleasure produces. That is the addiction. It changes the brain's chemistry. Brian says, if you feel bored, deep clean your room or house because at least you'll be doing something useful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anything you can do other than using is a positive. I mean, unless you're not doing something really bad. I see. Okay, thanks for the insight. That's okay, Will. Welcome back, Joseph. When was the last time you did it? Be honest. I probably looked at pornography, to be 100% truthful, or I should say used pornography, March 12th or March 13th, 2014. I know I drank for the last time March 13th or March 19th, 2014. I probably used porn March 18th or 19th, 2014, because March 20th, 2014 was my first day of sobriety. So coming up here in March will be 11 full years. Let's see if there's any other comments. God bless you. Merry Christmas, says Shan. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas to you too. Dreaming Beauty, glad you're still here. Any tips for feeling better after betrayal and feeling deep sadness? Well, number one, recognize that you had nothing to do with it. He did not become a compulsive user of porn behind your back because of anything you did. He was like that before he met you. The people who I talk to in my sessions every day, whether it's a male addict or a female addict, they all talk about that those seeds are there between 10 and 15, 90% of the time. It had nothing to do with you, even if he blames you for it, which is a shitty move, but it happens a lot. The next thing that I need you to realize is that you didn't deserve it. You know, not only is his action something that you didn't cause, it is something that you didn't deserve at all. You didn't ask for this. You didn't, when you were a kid dreaming about being in a relationship, being married, this is not what you had in mind. But what I will also tell you, Dreaming Beauty, is that while he is trying to get fixed or trying to recover and you're trying to help him, you need help too. You need to work on this betrayal. You need to work on this sadness. You need to talk about this with somebody. You have to watch out for your mental health as well. Take care of yourself. I describe it like, let's say that you're driving down the road with him and he's drunk driving. Let's say he's drunk driving down the road with you, whether you know it or not. And he careens off the road and the car flips a few times. He gets out of the car. Not a spot on him walking around. What the heck just happened? You, however, are pinned under the car. Your legs are a freaking mess. The paramedics come, the fire trucks come, they pull you out of it. Your legs are messed up. You need operations. You need pins. You're going to be in physical therapy for the next 6 months. Is this your fault? Of course not. You didn't make him drink. You probably didn't know you got in the car when he was drinking. It's his fault. But you're the one with the mangled legs. You're the one that's going to have to do the hard work. Fair? No. But the responsibility to yourself is that you live the highest quality life as possible. So you are going to have to get those operations. You are going to have to go through physical therapy to get your legs fixed. It's very similar here. You're going to have to go through what you have to go through to get to that sense of feeling better, whether it's a therapist or a coach like me or a 12-step group or, another group. Maybe there's something out there for betrayed women, as far as a local group. I know there are online pages and online groups, just a matter of what it is. But you, at the end of the day, are responsible for you. And he, at the end of the day, is responsible for him. You can urge him to get better. You can push him to get better. You can give him ultimatums to get better. Doesn't mean he's going to. It is his decision. Much like if you're going to get beyond this, it's going to be your decision. There is going to be a day, Dreaming Beauty, where you have to decide. I will either extend the olive branch. I will have some faith, and I will forgive but not forget, and we will see if we can continue this. Or you will have to decide, I'm never going to be able to trust this guy again. And I don't have faith in him. At that point, you have to decide whether you're going to stay or leave. But you are going to have to make these decisions in life. We make decisions all the time, whether we like somebody who we meet or not. That's a decision. When you get to a red light, whether you stop or not, that's a decision. Whether you go to work today or not, that's a decision. We make so many decisions that we don't even recognize how many we make. And eventually you're going to have to make that decision. Now, Dreaming Beauty, what I would say is you probably want to talk to some people or somebody who knows their way around this stuff before you make that decision if you're not there yet. Ollie, Arvin, thank you for following me. Appreciate it very much. You're welcome, Dreaming Beauty. I'm glad that you felt that advice was amazing. Hopefully you will follow it. Preston Heslep, 2 weeks sober right now. That's great. 14 days is awesome. Heading into the end of the year, I bet if you really put your mind to it, you can have a rest of 24 porn-free. That is very, very cool. Good for you. That's the greatest gift you can give yourself for the holidays. Okay, I gotta get the hell out of here. Good to see you all. I'm sorry that if I can't answer any other of your questions, but I do have to get going. If you want to book with me, like I said, I think there's even tonight as an option still available. Go ahead and do that. Click on my name here. Go to the front page of my profile and click on the Calendly link. You'll learn how you can set up a session with me, whether you are an addict, whether you are a betrayed partner, man or woman, doesn't matter. As long as you're over 18 and you can pay for the session. That's pretty much it. Want to thank you for being here. Want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I hope you're following me. That way you'll get my videos and you'll get my speeches or lives. You'll be informed about them. Anyway, good seeing you all. I will talk to you all later. And if I don't see you before Christmas, you have